So hi everyone, my name is Evan from Youth Psychological First Aid, and I am the head of the innovation department. Thank you all for coming to this workshop tonight. And today's topic is going to be what's PTSD. Now, I am pretty sure that most of us here tonight have at least once heard of the term PTSD before, but not probably not everyone understands what's the meaning behind it. And so today we're here to dive just a little bit deeper than the name, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, if you didn't know, and we're going to find out everything about it. PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder, and it is the psychiatric disorder that may occur in people who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event, such as a natural disaster, a serious accident, a terrorist act, a war combat, or a sexual assault, or who have been threatened with death, sexual violence, or serious injury. And there are definitely a group of people who are more likely to develop PTSD, but who are they? And according to scientific research, women are more than 2 times likely to develop PTSD in comparison to men, as it is more often for women to experience sexual offense and assault. And also, individuals who has experienced these following common traumatic incidents has a very high chance of developing PTSD. And as you can see on the slide here, it is combat exposure, childhood physical abuse, and sexual violence. So combat exposure, we're talking about any kind of, fight or like a war kind of, confronting experience. And then childhood physical abuse, that can happen from a lot of perspective. It can happen mental wise. So let's say, this child could be, mentally abused when they were young, or they could be physically abused. And also school bullying is a pretty important part when it comes to childhood physical abuse, which will be traumatic. And sexual violence, that is pretty straightforward, and it's just sexual assault or offense. So just to further elaborate, we're going to go over some numbers and statistics. And about 70% adults will at least experience one traumatic incident throughout their lifetime. And then 20% of those 70% adults who has experienced these traumatic incidents will develop PTSD. And 1 in 13 people will develop PTSD at some point in their life. And the prevalence of PTSD in the United States is equal to the total population of the state of Texas. And just right off your head, you might not know how much people that is, but that is 29 million people, or 93% of Canadians' population. So basically, if I didn't make it clear, is that roughly around 29 million people has PTSD in the United States, which is currently. And so now that we have gained a better understanding of what it is, let's also go deeper into looking at the 4 main stages of PTSD. So first up, we have the impact and emergency stage, and this phase occurs directly after the traumatic event. The victim has just realized the incident and is often highly anxious at this point. So to make it clear, it is, let's say, as an example, John Doe's house was burnt down, and then his loved ones were, dead or gone during this event, which is very unfortunate. And this person is, sitting in front of the house, and then we're getting into a little scenario here, and then, realizing what has just happened, what he's just lost, and then thinking of how this happened so quick and not being able to process all that. So at this point, they are highly anxious. Then we have the denial stage, and this phase may not be experienced by every PTSD victim, but it is very common. And individuals who do experience this stage will continue experiencing the strong feelings that they had in the impact and emergency stage. Sorry, some technical issues here. So individuals who do experience this stage will continue to experience strong feelings because of the memory of the traumatic event. And such memories often stay within their mind and are extremely difficult to endure the continuing flashbacks. So not every PTSD victim will experience this denial stage. Because of that, among individuals, because people have different ability to cope with stress, and then also the event that a PTSD victim has been through will also be different. Some may be more severe and significant than others, and this just it's kind of hard. There's no boundary or a limit or a specific, list of what you need to experience in order to get this now stage. It's hard to kind of tell who's going to get it, but it does, vary among individuals. Moving on to short-term recovery stage, all the immediate solutions to problems are addressed, and the victim is trying to get back on their feet and return to normalcy. So at this stage, that highly anxious, moment where all the hormones and chemicals are being released, and this person is, very scared and nervous, that stage has been gone. And right now, in the short-term recovery, so the victim is trying to get back on their feet, and as I've said, return to normalcy. And further elaborate on that, it's basically this person is no more experiencing all these, intense impacts. They're slowly, they might still have a nightmare or they might still be depressed occasionally, but then about more than 80% of their life is basically returned to how they used to live. And last, we have long-term recovery, and this phase can take up a really long time, you know, sometimes up to years or decades, and then trying to deal with the effects of PTSD. And while in the long-term recovery, the individual can suffer through nightmares, stress, and depression, and many other physical disorders and symptoms. But however, fortunately, with the help of psychologists and medicine, these symptoms can be significantly reduced, overcome, and eventually cured. And since PTSD does not directly harm an individual physically, and therefore is very commonly ignored. And if PTSD is left untreated, there are going to be several consequences, and some may be severe. And there are three most common consequences of untreated PTSD: chronic physical pain. So all these chemicals that I've mentioned so many times, your body will release, and they are going to cause headaches or making you lightheaded, or always feel tired and exhausted. And we have depression, which is pretty, straightforward because all these loss that this person had and all those, sudden things that this person's not prepared of having, suddenly it all came along, and then it's depression, and then this person's gonna be anxious and, stressed, depressed. And last thing last, we have drug and alcohol abuse, which leads to addiction and eventually making things even worse. Very impactful, and it might impact someone's day-to-day life, disturbing their regular daily routines and habits, interactions with people around them. So one thing that I want to say to you guys is that if you have experienced a traumatic event and you still feel like it's impacting you, or you have a friend who has similar experiences, please guys remember that it's nothing to be ashamed of and it's nothing to feel bad of. It's something that you need to deal positively, and then you will eventually get through this. Because as I've said in the last slide, it can be eventually cured. And in fact, most people, most PTSD victims, they do cure it in the end. Although they're gonna try really hard, they're gonna have a pretty hard time, but eventually there's a high chance that it can be cured. So there's nothing to be worried about, and it's not a bad thing overall. And another thing I want to point out is that the PTSD as moment when you're buried under soil and then you're just trying to dig up to get a sip of air, and then once you do dig through it, sunlight is going to flash in, and then there's going to be so more positive and happier things that you deserved. And it's slowly this dark history of PTSD, of like this, this event that you experienced that let you have PTSD, it will slowly sink and will slowly be masked by all these positivities of life. And that was all the contents that we're going to cover today. Also, please follow us on our social media account, which is YouTube and Instagram, as I have on the slide right here. We would definitely check that out. All of our videos and updates of our information are going to be posted up there, as well as our further events. So definitely go check that out. And if you want to join our WeChat group for more updates and information, I know a lot of you guys here would prefer WeChat. Please send us an email at haltonyouthpfaproject@gmail.com, and we'll send you the QR code to join our WeChat group chat. And at last, beyond the Youth PFA project, I thank you all for coming tonight to our workshop. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Before everyone goes, just one more thing. We have opened a long-term fundraiser where all the proceedings goes towards the running of our project. We would really appreciate your generous contribution and feel free to support us through the link that Mengzi is going to send in our group chat. She already did. Any amount we would really appreciate. Stay safe and have a great night.